Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. Today I want to talk about two vegetables that I consider must-have for your garden. Basically because they're versatile, they give you a lot of nutrition, vitamins on one of the plants, and then proteins on the other plants. And the plants are kale and beans. So let's just start with kale. It's the middle of April. We actually just had a frost. We're coming out of a frost. Beans are warm weather crops. So we're going to do planting of beans today. But let's start with kale. And you can see that I actually, side note, lost 2 tomato plants because we got down to, I think, like 30 degrees yesterday. They were experimental plants, it's okay. Got a tomato under that container that's doing perfectly fine. But I want to talk about this kale. The kale here is second year. You can see all the buds and blooms and leaves on there. I've been eating that just about every day. So kale is really a 4-season crop. In Maryland Zone 7, we get temperatures that get down to 20 degrees, sometimes 15 degrees. These plants can take a nice freeze and they come back strong in the spring, but second year they come back with all these different flowers, different buds. They're all edible, and you can see, they've been picked pretty well. This will all be picked probably today for another salad. So we have lacinato kales, we have curled kales, that's a red Russian kale in there. So I do recommend putting in some kale plants into your garden. You put them in the spring as seeds or as transplants. You can really start harvesting and eating the leaves sometimes late spring, early summer. They grow into warmth. They don't typically bolt, flower in the summer because they're biennials. They want to go through a whole season. So they stay leafy, they continue to grow, and you can eat the leaves in the summer, in the fall, and then you let them go through the winter and they come back in spring with just delicious buds. Packed full of vitamins, very nutritious. The other plant that I recommend are beans. I like the climbing beans. You can grow bush beans. I'm going to plant kale and the beans today. Since we are, I'm hoping, coming out of the frost. The beans can go into the ground now. Even if a little frost comes, it won't affect them. But as soon as the temperatures get right, they're going to pop and they're going to grow really, really quickly. But we're going to start backwards with the beans. Beans are a great source of protein. I'm going to do a bunch of different varieties. These are some beans that were left on my trellis. And you can see when you pop this open, all these beans are dried. This is how you dry them. You leave them on the vine. You let them dry over fall. Harvest on a sunny day when the pods are dry. And you can just store these beans. So you can, and you can see all the ones that fell out. These are all going to sprout too, by the way. You can just store beans over the fall and winter and use them as you wish. So beans are great to, one, provide protein, provide food during the summer and the fall, and then also to be stored and used over the winter. So I recommend kale and beans. So let's get to planting the beans first. So let's talk about beans. We're actually in the area where I've planted my kale. We'll go over that after this. So I was saying there are 2 types of beans. You got your bush beans, you got your pole beans, and you also have beans that are for shelling, where you're actually growing them on the plant, you're letting them completely dry, and you're harvesting the beans out of the dry pods. And then you have beans like lima beans, which you do shell, but you eat the beans fresh. And then you have like something like asparagus beans, the Kentucky blue, the green beans, where you eat the pod and the beans all together. I recommend growing a combination. Some bush that you let dry, you save the seeds, and then beans that you eat, the beans and the pods. So what I picked for this year are black turtle beans and pinto beans to be my dried beans. And I'll show you how to plant those, or I'll talk to you about how to plant them. First thing is that right now it's really too cold. Even though that I'm going to show you examples of putting them into the ground, your ground needs to be a minimum of 60+ degrees Fahrenheit for your beans to even germinate. They actually germinate best when the top 3-4 inches of the soil are about 70 degrees. So these are truly warm season crops. So putting these out now in April, they're going to just kind of sit there. And that's okay. If your soil drains well, your beans will pop when they want to. But just when you put a bean in the ground and you look at the back of the package and it says matures in 90 days, matures in 75 days, that doesn't start until the bean breaks the surface. So if you're putting them out way too early when the soil temperature is too cold, then they're not going to really germinate for weeks until the temperatures get to the right place. So I'll show you how to, put them in the ground real quick, just as an example. But I'm going to start these in cups, 8 ounce, 10 ounce, 12 ounce cups. They're going to stay indoors at night, gives them the 70 degrees they like. Come out on the sunny days, they'll get the sun. So let's start with some basic things. Bush beans. Actually, let's see, I'll hold it this way. So these are both the same in the amount of time they take to mature, 90 days. So if I get these out in May, June, end of July, I'll have beans that are drying. I'll be able to harvest the dried beans and save those. I can also put them out in my zone June, July, August. Come June, my soil temperatures are perfect, so I will direct sow my bush beans in June. So I'll get June, July, August. I'll get dried beans after 90 days or so. Also, I can put them in July when it's really hot. They're going to germinate quickly, they're going to grow quickly, and then I'll get July, August of nice warm temps, and it'll start cooling in September. So I can really grow my bush beans in 3 waves, and I'll have tons of dried beans at the end of each of these growing periods. In May, we're going to put them into cups. We're going to get them started indoors, and that will, really forgo having to deal with these cold soil. So they'll be growing in cups while the soil warms up, and then I'll put them in, end of April, beginning of May, and that will start the process with bush beans. Bush beans are going to get anywhere from 3 to 4 feet tall. You don't necessarily have to trellis them, but you might have to just put in some sticks or stakes around just so that they support each other a little bit. But you can pretty much let them go. So then we get to the climbing beans, the pole beans, which I like the most, and that's what I'm going to tuck in as an example today, just to show you how to plant them. But I like the lima beans. You don't eat the pods, you open them up, you cook the lima beans. Asparagus beans, they will get 1 foot, 2 feet tall. While they're smaller and young, you can eat the beans and the pod. When they get bigger, you can harvest the beans and just eat the beans. And then you have your traditional Kentucky blue, green beans, pretty straightforward. You want to trellis, so I'll show you some trellising examples. They will get anywhere from 9 feet to 12 feet to 15 feet tall. When your beans get too tall, like you can't reach them anymore, if you cut the main growing tip, it will send out shoots and it'll grow up from the side, or you can just direct it downward. Bend the top down and guide it down your trellis, and then when it gets to the bottom, you can let it go back up the trellis, however you want to do it. So I recommend a couple kinds of bush beans that are your shelling beans, and bush beans, I didn't mention it, these are determinate. So they get to, the height that they want, they flower, they put out the beans, 90 days they're done, they don't grow anymore. You pull them out, you start over. Your pole beans are indeterminate. They'll keep growing and growing and growing, and you just have to manage the size of the vine, and they will keep producing. As long as you're taking the beans off of the pole beans, they will keep producing more flowers and more beans. All right, so let's get to planting and setting them up in cups. So I'm going to plant the bush beans too. So we'll do pole beans, bush beans. These are going to be pole beans. You need something for them to trellis on. This is PVC pipe, just set up as a teepee all the way up to about 8 feet tall, tied at the top. So what I'm going to do is just put 3 beans around each pole. When they first start coming up, you'll have to gently guide them, but they'll figure it out and they'll just whip right up the pole. So I have 1, 2 of the Kentucky blue pole beans, and you just want to loosen up your soil. Take a spade, loosen it up. Beans fix their own nitrogen from the root system. If you have pretty good soil, you don't really have to feed them too much. We're going to water this in with a water-soluble fertilizer, but you don't need to prep it with anything. If you've got compost, of course, mix some compost into there. Push them down 1 inch deep. Now remember, the beans like warmer soil. These will take a little bit longer to germinate, but they usually germinate in 6 to 8 days because my soil temps are still 40 to 50 degrees. That was an asparagus bean. So I'm mixing the beans. Pole bean, 1 inch down, asparagus bean, and I actually just like the way that looks. There's no reason to do it except for the visual. When you walk over to this teepee, you'll see different kinds of beans. 1 inch deep. So that's 9 plants. Most of them will germinate. They all tend to pop up at the same time. So if they, pop up in 8 days, 12 days later you see something didn't come up, just replace it with another bean. We'll be able to grow something right in the middle here. All right, let's go over to the place where I'm going to put the bush beans, and I just want to show you a plant, or a bean plant, that has popped up on its own. So these two little guys popped up on their own from beans that dropped from pods, like the pods I was showing you in the beginning of the video. We've had freezing nights. They've survived. They've survived the frost. But just because the directions say 50, 60, 70, well actually 60, 70 degree nighttime temps and soil, they're still going to pop when they want to. They're going to grow a little more slowly. I'm going to let these grow because I think they fought so hard to survive. But I just want to show you, you don't have to be perfect temperature-wise with what the instructions say. Go ahead and start stuff a little bit early, because a lot of times it takes off and you'll get food, you'll get your vegetables earlier to the table. So remember again, the bush beans are determinate plants, means they'll get to a set height, 3 feet tall, maybe 4 feet tall at the highest. I'd like to put in just some basic trellising, 2 bamboo posts, some string about 10 inches tall, or 10 inches high, to support them as they're growing up, maybe another piece of string through here. That will just help them if the wind's blowing, just to stay supported. So I'm just doing 2 rows here. This is a setup for 2 rows. If I was doing, 6 or 8 rows, I would do a lot more spacing in between the rows. But I'll have light and access for birds to get in there, look for slugs and snails over on this side, and then there'll be a break over here on this side. So my plants will get plenty of light. But again, if I was doing a row, a row, a row, a row, in between these rows you want at least 12 inches up to 2 feet between rows. And this is just the 2 row setup. There's 25 beans. So 1 right there, 2, 3, you can get the idea, 3 or 4 inches apart, and you just push them down about 1 inch again. And you would work your way all the way down, which I'll do off camera. So that's 4, and then right across the way, about 4 inches there, another bean, and you could do 2 different varieties if you want. And I could probably squeeze one in here, but I forgot that. But you would just work your way all the way down. So I'm going to have a row here, 4 inches, 3 inches, a row over here, 4 inches, 3 inches between, and they're just going to grow up here. There'll be a gap of about at least 1 foot over here. I'm going to be putting in other plants. But again, it's later April. These are my first wave of beans to go out. I will put them in different places. But again, you want a mix of bush beans, pole beans. They're a great crop for protein, real easy to grow. We didn't put any fertilizer down here. If you wanted to, if you thought maybe your soil wasn't the best, you could just sprinkle some granular fertilizer down. Any organic fertilizer is fine. We're going to water these in with a fish emulsion, but because beans fix their own nitrogen, they don't really need much out of your soil. Just make sure that it drains well. Your plants, your bean seeds, don't like to sit in soggy soil or they will rot. This is all you need to do to get beans started in your garden. Now for the kale, kale is a cold weather crop. It can take a frost, does well in the cold, can handle 40-degree nights. But if you were to drop seeds into your garden when you're still getting a frost, it's getting into the 30s, the 40s at night, they're going to germinate really slowly. You can do that, certainly. But I do recommend, I'll link some videos about seed starting into this video. Start your kale in trays just like this. You can start them in yogurt containers or anything. When they get to about 2 inches tall, that's when I like to transplant them. I'm not going to transplant these. I'm going to show you some other transplants I already put in. But start your kale and really your cool season crops in these containers, and then you basically bring them in and out of your house, or you can use grow lights or whatever. But they're going to germinate a lot more quickly, and then you can put the transplants in the ground. They're going to grow more quickly because the seeds aren't sitting outside in the cold, not germinating. Hope that makes sense. For the planting hole, pretty simple. Dig down 6 inches, 12 inches, loosen it up. 2 tablespoons of any organic fertilizer, and I would just mix it in really well. And then I put the transplant right in there. You want to space them out using these sticks every foot, every 12 inches to 24 inches. The more closely you put them together, sometimes the more you have to manage pests and disease. For instance, if these have got white flies and they're really close together, the white flies can jump. Sometimes you have more spacing, you have more time to manage any problems that may come up. This is a bowl of kale that I picked as I was walking around. So again, kale's a 4-season crop, packed full of nutrition and vitamins. Your beans have the protein. Let me just show you some of the kale that I've already planted. So this is my long row of kales, collards, and cabbage, and they're packed, planted really closely together. They're actually going to be managed with some agricultural fabric that I'm going to lay across here, and that will keep different insects from getting to it. But these are packed closely together. Whole goal for this is to get lots of leafy greens, share them with the neighbors. Over here on this side, this is more of my kale if I was just growing it for myself. Notice the spacing. I'm using containers. They're sunken containers. The bottoms are cut out, but this could be a row. This could be in your raised beds. One plant, that's red Russian kale, a good 2 feet between them. In between there, they're going to be pepper plants. Pepper plants and kale tend to have different issues, so the insects don't necessarily jump plant to plant that way. But you can see that I spaced the kales out nicely. And when we come up here, those are some collard greens. Transplants, good size. Only thing I recommend for your kales, seed start them indoors if you're going to do transplants. They'll grow much more quickly. You can get them outside and they'll get to size. Hope you enjoyed the video. Gives you some confidence to grow kale and beans, 2 crops that I highly recommend for your garden for the nutrition and a source of protein. Thanks so much for watching, and please check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com.